Thanks for staying here on Joy News today. National security operatives are investigating the circumstances under which two luxurious Mercedes-Benz vehicles valued at $3.2 million were found at the residence of the Ketu South Municipal Chief Executive, Elliot Edem Agbenowo. The two luxury cars, which were impounded by the customs and national security officials, were allegedly smuggled into the country through the Aflao border and deposited at the MCE's residence. Officials say the two cars did not have the required documentation covering their importation into the country. My colleague with myjoyonline.com, Jerry Mordi, has been following the story and joins me in studio. Jerry, so when did the officials impound these vehicles, and what has happened subsequently?
Okay, the vehicles were impounded on 10th January this year at the residence of the MCE, like you said, and then they were subsequently brought to Accra, where national security has taken over, and they've started investigating into how they came into the country without the necessary custom documentation. And we've been talking to the MCE, and he explained that that was his official residence. He's not actually living there because the place is under renovation, and his security called him and told him about the cars being brought into his residence. According to him, the security initially tried to prevent them from entering the premises, but they forcibly entered the premises with the vehicles, and they called him. So he called the Aflao sector commander for SEPS, or Customs Division, and then they went in there and then impounded the vehicles and then reported to national security, and they took the vehicles.
So these people who forcibly parked the vehicles at the Ketu South MC's official residence, does he know them? Yeah, he's giving
me one name that, and then with contact number. I've been trying to contact the guy, but he's not answering my phone.
Who are they? Why would they want to park these vehicles at his residence?
Sure, according to information, that is a way some guys do business over there. You know, the Ghana-Togo border has a lot of unapproved routes, so they are able to smuggle in vehicles without the custom documents, and then they find a way of bringing them into the bigger city or into the country, and then they sell them and make their money. And he suspects that it is one of those guys who actually used his residence because it is a government premises. They try to put the vehicles there so that nobody would come around and try to inspect them. And then they were attempting to bring them to Accra on a tow truck, according to the SEPS sector commander for Aflao, Mr. Frank Ashong. It was when they were attempting to bring them to Accra, that was when they accustomed them and then brought the vehicles to Accra. So they are currently at the national security premises. They are investigating who actually owns the vehicle. According to my source, my very prominent businessman came initially and said that one of the vehicles was to be presented to the president as a gift. But they later found out that that is not true. And then after they did their investigation and found out it was not true, they've been trying to locate the guy, but they are not finding him. So that's where it is gotten to currently.
All right, Jerry, I'll have you hold on because we've got the MCE for Ketu South, Elliot Edem Agbenowo, on the line. Thank you so much for joining us here, sir. Now, I've just been wondering, do you suspect anybody is responsible for this?
Thank you for having me. I do not suspect anybody. In fact, all that I was interested in protecting is that government bungalows should not be used by anybody, whoever the person is, to do whatever. So when I got the information by my security personnel that the vehicles were parked in the house, even upon their own resistance, that the person forced me into there and parked the vehicles clean, that was when I had to alert the security personnel, the customs, the BNI, and the police, even though I wasn't around. That they moved to the official residence and said exactly what vehicles they are, who parked them, and whether the vehicles are custom. So, yes, they came in swiftly. The vehicles were found to be uncustom.
All right, Mr. Agbenowo, but I'm sure there are a lot of official residences in Ketu South. Why would they leave it at yours?
Please come again.
I'm wondering why they would leave it at your residence, because there are a lot of official residences. Why your residence?
The stories are true. The stories I was getting are true. At a point in time, I got an information that the vehicles were parking and they had a problem. They had to park. At another point in time, the vehicles they came in with a gentleman who introduced himself, the security as a national security. So he was informed that the MCE has given a directive and nobody comes here with any vehicle without. But then my security also informed me that even upon their resistance, the man forced into the house. In fact, that was even what infuriated me. When I got there, I said, why would you force yourself into an official bungalow upon the resistance of the security? That was the reason why I had to call the people concerned, security concerned, to come swiftly and solve the situation in my work.
All right, Agbenowu, so as you're saying, you seem to believe the version of your security man, but just help us understand what your house looks like. Is it a gated house?
Just like any chief executive, municipal chief executive, or district chief executive resident. It's gated, big gate where people pass, and a small gate where pedestrians or human beings pass.
All right, so now, do you know who came to park these vehicles at your house?
I don't know the person.
But you're head of the Security Council in that area, sir. And what have your men been telling you? Do they have any leads, any pointers?
Well, the name of the person was mentioned by my security, and it is with the people who came to take the car away, the customs, the DNI, and the police. They are aware of the person who came to park, as was narrated by my security at the time of their arrival. So they are taking necessary steps to get it.
All right, Mr. Agbenowu, let me just ask this, because my colleague was telling me that one man came up to say that one of these vehicles was actually supposed to be a gift for the president. Have you heard anything like that? Are you aware of it?
I have no knowledge about that. And I don't know who said that.
All right, finally, I mean, people bringing vehicles through a plow or using unapproved routes is not something, this is not the first time we are hearing of it. As MCE for Ketu South, and obviously now we're hearing that your home was used, if I may use the word, as a transit. What are you doing to ensure that we don't have things like this happening?
Yes, that plow is a border town, and in fact, as we rightly say, border towns are prone, so it's a lot of security challenges. But we are up to the task, myself and the Security Council. We have a very elaborate plan to make sure that security at our area and the municipality is put under control. One of the things that we want to do immediately is to construct a road that is linking the border enclave from Sedley to Aflau to allow for free flow of the security, the patrol. That is what we are doing. Many other things.
But Mr. Agbenowu, do you have any friends, colleagues, business partners who deal in vehicles, or somebody who's got quite a relationship with you who may want to leave these vehicles, and because of the way it's gotten, they wouldn't want to come and tell you, hey, that's my vehicle?
I cannot affect anybody, and I don't know of any other person that should be doing that. I think that person should be answered by the security, because when I got information about me, I've laid the information to them. So I don't know anybody else.
All right, thank you very much for your time. That's Municipal Chief Executive for Ketu South, Elliot Edem Agbenowu, and he actually alerted security officials as a result of his curiosity after these vehicles were parked in his home. So finally, Jerry, just tell us what the security officials are saying. What are they doing proceeding with this case?
Well, what they're doing is that they're investigating who actually brought the cars into the country at the moment, because like the MCE said, he may not know who, but when they brought the cars to Accra, that was when someone owned up, and then these stories started coming up. So that's what we're also following up now.
Thank you very much, Jerry Mordi with myjoyonline.com. With those updates, we will be following this keenly and bring you updates